This is SuperHouse.
Welcome, SuperHouse Podcast listeners. This is episode 115. A little late, but we're going to do our Annihilation review. You know, we got shit going on, so don't judge us too harshly. We're going to do a little retrospective for Kevin Smith. We almost lost him. It was very sad. I was very nervous because to me, he's one of the great filmmakers of my time. I grew up watching his movies, so we're going to go over that a little bit. We got some movie news. Joey's going to tell us about his top show that he's been watching this year. And then I got a current listens thing. It's something new, so get ready because here we go. I'll be joined by myself, Andrew Bush,
Hello.
and Joey Coakley.
What up?
All right, guys, here it is. It's time. Our very late Annihilation review. This movie is written and directed by Alex Garland. You may know him from Ex Machina and 28 Days Later. Starring Natalie Portman, Oscar Isaac, Jennifer Jason Leigh, and Tessa Thompson. All right, guys, here it is. General thoughts. Joey, tell me what you thought of Annihilation.
I thought it was a cool, new sort of horror movie, man. I thought the all-female cast was great to have. Kind of them being in this sort of, predator alien military role. I mean, I know we had a couple women in Alien, but just kind of seeing that was cool. The creature effects were top-notch. It was definitely some stuff we hadn't really seen before. Sort of the blooming, almost like Last of Us style. Effects. It's definitely kind of a slow burn throughout. Like it doesn't really get too action packed. It kind of keeps the suspense and the tension. I definitely recommend it. The soundtrack was great. That was also very sort of Last of Us like. But yeah, I definitely would recommend it to anybody who is into horror and crazy, creepy sci-fi.
Sweet. Andrew?
I think my thoughts can be distilled down into this. I liked it, but I didn't love it. I thought it was okay, and we're going to get into this more as we go into this review, but I thought the visuals were good, but just to keep it short right here at the top, I'm just going to say it just wasn't not as good as Ex Machina, and I don't know. It was okay.
Sweet. I'm kind of 50-50 on it because I read the novel, and there's a lot of stuff I wanted to see in the movie that I didn't get to see. So I'm thinking about it for like a week now. I appreciate the film for being like a cool new sci-fi film with stuff that I've read about but haven't seen before on the big screen. I also appreciate that it's an all-female led cast of scientists, which is pretty dope because you don't ever see, I don't remember the last movie I saw like that. Maybe never. Especially on the big screen, not like an independent film or something like that where it's only limited release or something. It's a pretty big movie, big stars. So yeah, I mean, I'm 50-50 on it. I definitely think it's a really good sci-fi movie, but there's just a part of me that read the novel and wanted to see certain things and kind of the way the book plays out that I didn't get. So I definitely think I need to watch it again and just kind of try to separate myself, because usually when you read a novel, you go in and you're like, I want this and this to happen, and then it doesn't. You go, that's a trash movie. That's not as good as the book. But right. I feel like it still has a lot of merits as a film, and I think sometimes you just got to separate yourself. But it's hard when you really love something. So, all right. Now we're going to get into performances. The cast, what'd you think of them? Who was your favorite character? Stuff like that. Joey, go ahead.
I thought the cast was cool. It was again, talk about all female cast, but seeing Natalie Portman in sort of a military style role was something different. I guess that was cool to see. Gina Rodriguez, I used to watch the show that she's on called Jane the Virgin. Yeah. It's on CW, and it's cool seeing her in this sort of sort of butchy, manly role as like a paramedic and like, fucking shit up. And, Tessa Thompson, we've seen her as like Valkyrie and a couple other films, Dear White People, I believe she was in.
Creed.
Yeah, Creed. She's also in Creed. She was a little more not as tough as we'd seen her before, but she it was cool seeing her in there. And then Jennifer Jason Leigh playing, I guess, their boss character. She's got some secrets. And then this new character or new actress, I don't think I'd seen before. I tried to see what she was in. I don't think I'd seen her before, but I thought they were great. They definitely sort of, yeah, that's all. Yeah, I liked it.
Andrew?
So yeah, what was the original question? I'm sorry.
It's just like the performances overall. Did you
the performances?
Were you captured by the performances? Were you,
Yeah, the performances really aren't. That's not really the thing that kind of took it down a peg for me. It's the performances are all good. I mean, I don't know if anything was like Oscar worthy, but it's maybe not that kind of movie. It was just like Natalie Portman's great in it. Oscar Isaac's great in it. All supporting cast. I mean, yeah. I mean, acting performance really wasn't a problem with the movie. I think it's just some other things. I'm going to keep plugging it till we get there.
Okay. Just for me, I thought the performances were great. I was like, Natalie Portman. It was nice to see her in something again on the big screen. I know she'd done some there's a movie on Netflix called Planetarium that looks kind of cool. I want to check out, but I haven't really seen her in a while. It's nice to see her holding the gun and shooting fucking crocodiles, which was dope.
Yeah.
I definitely felt like the cast was cool. I definitely like the scene where they're at the lunch table just chatting. I felt like in that little bit of a scene, you really got that there was kind of they wanted to have the closeness, and then when they get slowly torn apart, I felt like you felt it. Everyone had a reason for turning on one another or a reason for going on when people wanted to go back, and thought that was cool. I thought Oscar Isaacs was great. I didn't realize that he would just on his days off go film Annihilation while he was filming The Last Jedi. So
yeah.
Top-notch performance there for someone who's probably fucking tired. But not that he was. I mean, he was laying down a lot in the movie, but he did have some cool moments in it, and I definitely really liked the when they're together in kind of the flashback scenes. I thought those were some really cute, kind of down to earth kind of relationship scenes that I don't think you really see because everything's kind of romanticized. But I thought it was cool. I thought the performance was great. It's great to see Jennifer Jason Leigh. She's in a great show on Netflix called Atypical, which she's really good in. So it was nice to see her in a bigger budget movie, and Tessa Thompson's great. And the other people in it were great too. I haven't seen Jane the Virgin, so I'll probably check it out just because of the character she played in Annihilation. And the other, I didn't want anyone to die, but I knew what was coming. So I was just like, damn it. But yeah, the performances I thought were really good. All right, we're moving on, guys. It's visuals time. Now, visuals, we're just talking about overall look. We're not getting into the creature aspect just yet because it's got its own category because of me. So we're just going to talk about the overall look, the world that was set up in Annihilation, and not really specific stuff just some of the plant life and stuff that you got to see. So Joe, if you want to go ahead and just touch on visuals.
Yeah, so we'll basically just start with the glimmer, man. I thought the sort of slick oil look was really cool, kind of the perimeter of the place when they went in. Seeing that was really awesome. Seeing the I guess sort of how it was changing the whole the whole area as it consumed it, the sort of changing of the DNA, and it's basically I don't want to get too much into it, but visuals. Seeing the different creatures as they were changing, kind of how they were with the alligator, I think had 3 rows of teeth, like a shark.
Yeah.
Seeing the little I don't know what you'd call them, little jackalopes or something.
Yeah.
Kind of hopping around, and one's got a skull, as a head, and one's got branching flowers, plant life growing out of the top of its head. Seeing the sort of the difference between those two. The sort of gory effects with the guy in the pool was pretty awesome.
We're gonna get to gore in a minute. Let's just talk about like overall like plant life and like the beach scene with the crystal.
Yeah, okay, that was
crystal
no.
structures.
Yeah, the crystal structures were pretty awesome as they were like, booming up, I guess, from the near the sort of center of everything. I liked all the visuals are great. It was something different and kind of cool to see. Very beautiful, but also very destructive, as we'll get into later.
Andrew?
Yeah, I thought the look was cool. The shimmer, like you said, the perimeter was really cool. It was a kind of a new take on, a lot of the times these movies are just dark, 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 and this one has like a bunch of like bright colors and some like a lot of sunlight in some areas. You know what I mean? So I thought that was like a welcome change, and the type of alien that it was that produced the shimmer and all the I guess we're just talking about visuals, but yeah, I mean with the flowers. My favorite, I think one of the scenes that sticks out to me the most was whenever she's turning into the flower.
Yeah,
she's walking away. That really stuck with me. So I thought that was cool, and I want to see the guy's Swamp Thing.
Yeah, right. That'd be fucking awesome. Yeah, I thought the visuals were great. It was like when you read a novel, I think you just kind of visualize the way you see the surrounding area. Yeah. And when I saw the movie, I felt like, they did take it a step beyond, especially on the beach scene, because I don't think that's really described that way. But I did like that the beach was having these like glass-like structures, which I thought was pretty dope. Because basically, when you're in the shimmer, it's just messing with all DNA and cells, and
right,
so, like you're adapting part of it to yourself. But yeah, I thought everything was cool looking. I liked that the when you first get into the shimmer, it's like, okay, this looks like a jungle, and then they get to like the houseboat or the like house that's sunken in the water, and you're like, okay, this is cool. It's kind of like Louisiana. And then as they progress further, it's like you start seeing these changes and things start happening to them. And I really thought the visuals were really great, and just the way they set up that world is like I haven't seen anything like it. So that was cool, because I think as a moviegoer, you want to see something you haven't seen before. Yeah, and I think Annihilation visually does that.
Right.
But yeah, I thought the visuals were great. I was kind of stunned just watching it. Honestly, in the beginning, when it's like her in the normal world, and I get why they did a lot of that, was to show you like this visual spectacle. But I was like, hurry up and get to the shimmer. Damn it, I don't care about real world. I want to see weird shit. But it does it, and I think the visuals are top notch. All right, guys, this is a section I think we all kind of want to talk about. I know I do. We're going to talk about creatures, gore, alien ? Doppelganger ? Hopefully this gets into Andrew's territory of what he didn't like. If not, we're going to have a final thoughts section, so Andrew, you can air your grievances or whatever you didn't like, and we can. Final thoughts will just be what, but there's one more after creatures before we get into final thoughts. But Joey, go. Creatures, gore, alien ?
All right, so I'll continue where I left off. Dude in the pool. So we get, with the sort of DNA change, they show the video, which you sort of see in the trailer of Oscar Isaac, and apparently they're going nuts. Mm-hmm. They basically cut their friend's stomach open, and you see like his intestines like moving. I guess in a circle around his his body. You just see them moving, like the normal intestines would move like this. And then basically like when the girls or the ladies, go to the pool and sort of find that same gentleman in the pool, his insides have basically like grown, and they've created this like awesome piece of artwork, what do you call it? Not a still life, but anyway.
I know what installation.
Installation, thank you. Just like this, like crazy, like blooming, I guess guts or whatever, and then like his body sort of grows out and stretches and tears, and then like his skull grows out of his face. It's very much the Thing, like very much. It was awesome. The bear, there's a scene with a bear, and the bear had killed one of the People die in this movie. Sorry.
Oh, it's the spoilers. Don't worry.
Yeah. So, and basically, like with the DNA that's happening, the sort of switch, this like changing of the DNA, the bear's voice is now the last moments of the woman that he killed. So, like when he's like, if he were to roar or growl, it's basically this woman screaming. That was pretty fucking terrifying.
Love it.
I thought it was cool seeing Jennifer Jason Leigh, like when she was in the heart of the shimmer. Like I guess her eyes went away, like her eyes closed on themselves. Like seeing that, like she turned around and it was gone again. I wish that like the eyes would have stayed closed, like she had this like complete transformation just by like walking in there. I liked even the fact that like if you go in there, you change. Like you change, whether you come back as your doppelganger or you don't. You've completely changed. Your whole like DNA has been reconstructed and fucked with. Let's see. I'll stick with that. I thought all that stuff was, those three things were really, really stuck out for me.
Sweet. Andrew?
All right, so we're calling some about creatures. I'll just go in order. So the first one we see is the crocodile, correct?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean that was an awesome scene. It was sort of similar to stuff we've seen before, but one of the cool things was kind of seeing how Natalie Portman uses a gun. She's like kneeled down and tactical as fuck and blasting that thing in the face. That was cool.
She shoots it to get she shoots it to get the attention. I thought that was rad, and then she like kneels down and then continues that.
And she just looks really badass there. And the one thing, I know animals are very unpredictable, and this is a fake animal anyway, but it was just like, why did the animal let the girl go initially? Whenever the crocodile was dragging her down. But then again, that would kind of fuck up the action scene. I don't know. Anyway, that's just one thing that stuck out to me. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. But I mean, overall look was cool. The reveal of the refractions that they're discovering throughout the movie, and they start seeing in the flowers and the teeth and all that. That was cool. It was more action, less scary ultimately, I think, in that particular scene. And then the second creature, we got the bear, I guess, and it kills that girl. And yeah, there were people laughing in the theater, man, at the voice, but I was fucking terrified. That was scary as fuck to me. And that was totally new. You haven't really seen, a bear creature, have a growl or a yell like that. And it's like it's supposed to be the sound of somebody dying every time this thing opens its mouth. And it, connects back with the refraction and connecting, mixing and meshing and all that. That was cool. I like that as well. I think that scene where they're tied to the chair is probably one of the highlights of the whole movie. That was similar to, like, I guess a lot of movies are influenced by this these days, but like the whole Ripley trying to get her face away from the xenomorph in the original Alien. It's sort of reminds me of that.
Alien 3.
God, that was a third one?
Yeah, because her head shaved.
Oh, yeah, I totally forgot about that. All right, well, that scene. Thanks, David Fincher. All right. And then the final Alien. I thought that was cool. It was different. Very CG as far as the look is concerned, but I can overlook that. And it was a long time without any dialogue, and it kind of felt like the director got away with a lot. It kind of felt like the director got what he wanted. Mm-hmm. Alex Garland is his name?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that was cool. That was interesting. I'm going to mention it briefly here. I'm going to get deeper into it in the final remarks probably, but this is like near the end with the Alien is where it sort of fell apart for me, because it's just like, well, maybe I'll just get into it. Like, it's just like the talking about refraction and all this and all that, and like it's like when it finally ends up, it's like, oh, they're just copies, or the guy's a copy and she's just influenced by the shimmer, and it's just like, all right, that's the end.
Or
like,
is she?
It's just the payoff at the end isn't that good. That's my main beef with the movie. You know,
Cool. Yeah.
that's really it. So I'll just leave it. I'll leave it there, I guess.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, come on, guys. These creatures are fucking dope. Like Andrew said, the first one is the alligator, crocodile. I don't know. There's
Whatever it is.
Yeah. I love that it was like. I mean, even in the trailer when they're like, it has like sharks like teeth with the rows, and I was like, fuck yeah. Because I'll just say this in the book: you see creatures, but they never fight them. There is a boar scene where the boar looks slightly different, and it charges them, but then they shoot at it, and it kind of just like, nah, fuck that, you know. Which is cool, and it's the book is really heady and just kind of like a very slow movie, and it's all told from first person perspective of the biologist, which is Natalie Portman's character. So we're only getting the information that she sees, and we throughout the book, you never know if she's actually telling the truth or not, because in the book she lies, and then we'll go back and tell the truth at some point. So you really don't know what you're reading, what she's seeing is real. And one thing I liked about the movie was that you kind of got different people's perspectives, because you can't just have like, that would be a really boring movie if we only heard from one character the entire time. Well, I mean, maybe it wouldn't be, who knows? But, you know, I like that we got different people's perspectives, and like, it wasn't just told through Natalie Portman's, like, I mean, I guess she is telling Benedict Wong's character about it. So it could be a lie. It could not be. Which I kind of like the ambiguity of some of the scenes, because I didn't really know if she's telling the truth at points. But I did like that you kind of got you got to see some of the characters react to certain things. And like, you know, I think for the most part, the biologist, Natalie Portman's character, was telling the truth about what incidents went down. Since we will probably not get a sequel to this, who knows? But I thought it was cool. Yeah, I love that whole action scene. I thought was dope. I assume what Andrew brought up about her attacking her and not being able to drag her underwater, I guess probably because it still retains some of its like crocodile-like stuff. And I guess if there's some restraint, or it's biting into something that it doesn't, you know, it doesn't taste like food, who knows? I don't know. Who knows what it happens to animals when they go through the shimmer or the event that's taking place. But I thought it was a dope-ass scene, even though that crocodile alligator was CG. I thought it looked fucking real. Like when it went in the water, I was like, damn, these effects are top notch. So I thought that scene was great. What Joe was saying about her kneeling down, taking out the fight, like that was badass. And you know what? I mean, there's a lot of comparisons to this movie. I think it's definitely some Alien references in there. There's definitely like some of Joey mentioned earlier, John Carpenter's The Thing. There's some Hellraiser moments in this motherfucker. Joey said cutting open the guy's stomach. It's a pretty gory film, which I liked. The bear scream I thought was awesome. I've never seen it, never heard it. I don't know why people were laughing, unless it was like a nervous laughter because they didn't know how to be afraid. Or it was too terrifying. They didn't know how to handle it. That's what I'm going to assume. But I thought the sound design in that scene alone was phenomenal. It sounds frightening. I was just like sitting there. I was like, oh my God, dude, I know what this thing looks like because they've given it away in the trailer, but I don't want to see these events go down. But I will say there's a badass jaw rip scene in it, though, and pretty gory. And I did not expect this movie to be as gory. I knew there'd probably be some from the book, but I definitely thought there were some scenes I was like, damn, they let you get away with this shit? This ain't no horror movie. This isn't like billed as a horror movie, dude. This is like a sci-fi movie. So that was cool. I thought the deer, antelope creatures were cool looking. I like that they split out. Like you saw one and then it turned into another one. And I like that you got to see the effects of the shimmer, like what it's doing to the world, which I thought was very cool. I thought the bear design was awesome, only because I draw a lot of that shit. I was kind of when I saw it, I was like, someone stole my designs. But yeah, I thought that was cool because it's kind of nice to see someone, like me and some other creature designer out there draw similar things. I was like, that's pretty cool. Like it's as close as I'll probably ever get to seeing something I've drawn come to life. Who knows? Maybe not. But it was cool to see something like that move around and just like act like a bear, but be like kind of fucked up and have still have the eyes, but the skull on the outside. I thought it was really great creature design throughout. Yeah, man, I think one of my biggest beefs with the movie is that you get the classic alien chip or ball of energy or asteroid falling into the earth. And I was like, damn it. Because in the book, it's more the event just happens. No one knows why. No one knows where it came from. And I wish that would have been in the movie. I didn't need it to be like some kind of alien, which that's kind of what, like when you meet the big orb thing, which was an alien or whatever the fuck it is, I thought was great because I never seen anything like that either. And the whole time I was like, man, this is a pretty cool, like Lovecraftian movie, like fearing the unknown or seeing the unknown kind of stuff. And I thought that was super dope. And I love just like the effects that went into like inverting those like design elements into, like, it was so cool to see like it. And then I'm not a big fan of I'm not a big fan of the doppelganger thing. Because of the book, again, there's a character. So in the lighthouse that they go to, that's not like the big event. There's a thing that Natalie Portman's character calls the tower, but everyone else in her group calls it a tunnel, which is very confusing because the tunnel is probably just it is a tower, but, goes down and not up. But she refers to it as the tower, which is kind of like fucks with your brain a little bit because you're like, no, that's a tunnel. Like, you're going down. But she always refers to it as a tower, which is weird. And her, like, I recommend reading the book if you want to like know a lot of the differences. But there's someone in there that they dub the crawler, something in there called the crawler, and it's writing this living language that like spreads out and makes more language. But in the book, they couldn't take the linguist with them because she bowed out. I don't know if it's like, I don't think in the first book, maybe in the second one, they explain why she couldn't go. So no one can read or try to decipher this language. But as a biologist, she sees all these living beings within the language. The crawler is part like Shimmer and what's happening there, and part the lighthouse keeper. And he's writing this story, basically, which you don't really know what the story is. But that thing kills the girl who gets eaten by the bear. And I was just kind of let down that I got this weird kind of like just, I mean, I guess it is an alien. I don't really know, which is kind of cool that I don't know. But I'm just going to say it's an alien because it seems like it comes from space, therefore alien. So, but I don't know, man. The doppelganger stuff, I was just like, God damn it, no. But everything else I thought was dope. It's just the ending that kind of like loses it for me. Like Andrew said.
Same.
But yeah, I was like, I'm very interested. Once we get to final thoughts, I'm sure we'll deep dive into this more. But we're just going to move on, and we're going to talk about score, just the music of the movie, see what you guys thought. Joey, go ahead.
I actually got this on iTunes because I have Apple Music. And I was listening to it. And it's very like, I didn't listen to the whole thing, but if I remember correctly, there's not a huge, like, I don't know, like, it's very mellow, I guess is what I'm trying to say. You kind of have that classic guitar, acoustic guitar sort of jam that plays, when they're sort of walking through the woods and kind of the quiet moments. The thank God the theme in the trailer was in the film.
Oh yeah.
I really didn't research it. And I didn't know if they had got it from like somewhere else but I thought that just kind of like real low and then high synthesized, like, that thing was really cool. I was really glad they kept that in. But yeah, I thought the score was pretty cool and kind of, a little creepy and, but then also sort of like, I don't know, I'm gonna say, kind of chill, I guess, for the most part. I don't know. The acoustic guitar stuff was definitely a little weird. It was definitely very like Last of Us. It was interesting why that was in there because it didn't really seem to be that type of film with that guitar, but I dug it also. So it was a little kind of off-putting in a way, but yeah, I dug it.
Sweet. Andrew?
Dude, I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't really notice the score. It didn't really like stick out to me. I didn't notice anything in the trailer. It just didn't like pop to me. The last score that I really noticed actually was the Interstellar score. And then I get online and everybody says it sucks. And I was like, what? This is like one of the first ones in a long time I actually liked. Like, there's a lot that I like, but like I really noticed Interstellar a lot. And but with this one, it was just, I don't know. Wasn't good or bad. It just I don't know. Yeah, I
Served
didn't know
its
we were
purpose.
doing this, man. I didn't know I had to pay attention to that part.
I just did it because I felt like that tone that they use in the trailer is so like I'm like Joey. I really hope that they were going to use that, and it wasn't just some like, oh yeah, we got this from this dude and we can't use it in the movie, but it makes really cool trailer sound or whatever.
Right.
Like whatever rights go into, like, I don't know, that shit's probably so convoluted and just like, well, you can use this part of it, but you can't use this part of it because this part was used in blah blah, blah, So, but yeah, I just thought it was kind of interesting. I like the score. I think it's like very somber at points. The fucking acoustic guitar shit bothered the fuck out of me because it was like the same kind of thing. So I was like, this is weird because it's only like a couple of like chord progressions and notes.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I wonder if that distorted sound that we hear is that acoustic guitar song distorted as we move forward into the film. And I think it is. I'd have to watch it again, but I do notice, like, because I knew that tune pretty well. And as they get further in and when they kind of start using that weird manipulated synthy sound, I think it's that just broken down into like the most abstract version of that guitar part. That's just my theory. I don't know if that's true. It could be totally wrong, but I could have sworn at one point there's like one time they use it with more synth. And I swear to God, it starts off with that same chord progression. And I was like, holy fuck, this is dope. Like, this is like, here's this acoustic guitar. This is normal life. This is, boring. She's painting a room. Her and her husband are reading on the couch. We're playing this song, or that like kind of 60s, 70 kind of pop song that they listen to like twice in the movie, which also didn't think fit either. But I felt like it was trying to show like a normalcy of everyday life. And then when you get to the Shimmer and you see all this DNA cells, gathering cells and shit that aren't your own and becoming more plant-based and more it's just, I felt like the music was also changing. So I'd be really interested to see if like someone else saw that. I haven't read any reviews necessarily. I've just talked to like my roommates who I saw it with. I don't know. I just thought the score was kind of cool. I don't think it was like super stand out, but I thought it worked really well. And I definitely love that the trailer was so good, dude. That the music in it. So I just wanted to bring it up just because I feel like that little synthy sounds that we hear in the trailer is like, I was hoping for it and I got it. So that's one thing I liked about it. All right, moving on. And here we go. We're going to talk about the ending thoughts. Any questions? If you guys want to like ask me anything about like what if you're like, was this in the book or any of that stuff, I can answer what I can. I have. Sometimes it's easy to retain book information, and sometimes it's just like kind of goes to the wayside. So I'll answer the questions the best I can. Joey, is there anything you want to say about like ending thoughts or any questions?
Yeah, I did want to mention, you had mentioned the when Gina Rodriguez gets her jaw ripped off by the bear, just how easy it looked for that bear. Because usually you'd see like in a film like a tussle, like the bear's like grabbing at her throat, and like you see her like gargling or whatever. She's like trying to get the mouth open, or you'd see like a longer scene, but he just like goes for the throat and then just like moves his face to the left, and the whole jaw and throat just gets ripped out. It's like super quick. Like, man, I mean, obviously like a bear is incredibly powerful, but you just kind of see that happen. We've seen Leonardo DiCaprio getting mauled by a bear, but we didn't see any limbs or chunks of skin get just thrown off of him. Oscar Isaac lighting himself on fire with that flare grenade was rad.
Yeah.
And then you say, okay, you hear him talking, you think he's just talking to, like, obviously, I was gonna say talking to himself, but then you find out that he is talking to himself. It's a doppelganger himself. And he was the one that, that got out. And I guess in a way when he got out and was having the seizures or whatever, his like whole cell structure or organs were failing because he was an alien. He's not used to oxygen and air quality of Earth. And I didn't mind the doppelganger stuff like that much. The fact that like she couldn't get out of there, and basically like the doppelganger obviously knew the all the movements that she was doing, and like basically like kept her down there, and then she would get knocked out, and then I wonder if that they were trying to maybe suggest that the doppelganger became the original in a way, like when she was knocked out, like there was a change.
Yeah.
But I think it kind of went to where basically she she was basically changed, and whatever happened, even if she got out, she was still changed and basically would maybe sympathize with the doppelganger Oscar Isaac. But overall, man, I thought it was a cool movie. It was definitely, kind of a slow burn, but it was, kind of cool to see like a big budget sort of sci-fi horror type filming.
Yeah. I just want to comment before we go on, Andrew. So the bear scene in The Revenant in the book is fucking brutal as shit. And I assume it wasn't as brutal in The Revenant just for time constraint and the fact that in the book it takes him months and months to heal from that bear attack. But you got to get the movie moving along, man. That movie's already almost 30 hours long. So I'm just going to say, I'm sure a bear could rip your jaw if it really wanted to. And also, we in the Shimmer, dog, who knows how much strength he got. But the bear, like, if you read the Revenant book, they fuck up Leonardo DiCaprio's character. It's like kind of, it's like hard, like it's fucking intense. And he's just like, for half that book, he's just crawling because that's all he can do. And it's like, you can't, like, I was kind of disappointed because I wanted to see the gore that's described in the book. And I was like, I get it. We got to move on. We got to get to that Tom Hardy versus scene. All right, come on, let's do it. But anyway, Andrew, final thoughts. Get into the shit you hated. I'm ready for it.
Again, like that didn't, I said I liked it. I didn't love it. I definitely didn't hate the movie. It's not that. It just kind of felt like it just really fell flat at the end. And I'm not talking about the weird alien stuff whenever they finally meet the alien. That part was, was okay. I think it could have been a little better, but it's just the doppelganger stuff at the end. It's like, all right, we went through all this journey just to have a doppelganger. I don't know. It just felt like the payoff is just not that good compared to everything else. I kind of feel like, I mean, no offense to Garland, but I kind of feel like if Christopher Nolan were to take this, we would have had like a better concept at the end of what should have happened. Maybe he would have changed the book a little bit. I don't know, but it just kind of felt like Nolan's really good with really honing in on what his concepts and themes are, let alone action and stuff, So like if you look at like Batman Begins and Dark Knight, especially, it's like they're just constantly going. There's like so many concepts and themes thrown at you, and it's like all fucking like woven into the plot really well. And I don't know, just like this just like wasn't enough at the end, and it's just like, all right, there's a copy. All right, whatever. And I have a question about the book, actually, Maddie, since you opened it up for that. The subplot with her cheating on her husband, Oscar Isaac, seemed to kind of go nowhere in the movie. That is more fleshed out in the book.
I honestly don't remember if she does do that in the book,
okay,
or not. There is a lot of stuff added from the Garland. Garland took his own liberties with it, which I've read that the writer of the novel was really surprised by the ending and didn't see it coming. But I would say that you as a writer, he's lived this world. He knows it more vividly than any of us, even Alex Garland.
Yeah.
So I think as a writer, he was probably kind of glad to see something that he didn't write, because then it's like, oh, the crawler doesn't look like the way I envisioned him, or, because the book does kind of end with a lot of questions. And I feel like this Annihilation movie, obviously, I don't think any of us thought we were going to get the other two movies, because there are two more books after this, just because, it's a weird movie. It didn't make a lot of money. It's a gamble for any studio.
It bombed, man. Black Panther's just ripping it up at the box office still.
Yeah, and we all knew that, but they have to release a movie at some point, So,
yeah.
We're not going to get two of these, and I think Garland probably knew this and just tried to finalize the movie, but kind of leave an ambiguous ending.
Yeah,
which is fine. It's just the ending wasn't for me. I will also say that Oscar Isaac's character does not go through any of the stuff he goes through. He dies of cancer. And she goes in to try to figure out why he died. Like, why did he come back from this area and just his body's ridden with cancer? Like, it's every kind of cancer in his body. So, and I think the reason they put the, I mean, she's obviously going there to try to save him, but I feel like she also owes him because she did like cheat on him.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think if you would have asked that, I don't think it was really necessary. I just thought that guy, when she talks to him, is just like a concerned colleague that was like, hey, you should come hang out because your husband hasn't talked to you in like a year. So he's probably dead. Come to this barbecue or garden party, what the fuck they were going to. But like when that happened, I was like, nah, I don't really care. Get back to Area X, please. That's where I want to be. So I felt like that could have been asked to maybe explore other things, but I don't know. It didn't take that much away from me. And I just kind of like, well, you know, at that point, I mean, it was kind of weird because I thought like she was cheating on her husband while he was still there.
Yeah.
But I don't, because the thing in the book is she is a weird person. Like she just like, she's not very emotionally attached, but she like goes through the motions of what humans should do. She gets married because this is like the person that she connects with the most. And she just she's like, well, I guess that's love. And this is what I'm going to do. So she's not like a great character. She's not like, she's not like a heroine or something. Like she does everything right.
She did sort of come off as a little bit unlikable in the sense that at times, because she's like crying so hard at his return. And then you know, a few minutes later, you see shots of her cheating on him. It's just like, oh, this bitch is fake. You know, I don't know. It's just kind of
well, I mean, I think
it makes her more real, but it also made her somewhat less likable in some ways.
Yeah, I mean, I think you can love someone and like miss them, and then you can also be like, you know, like something's not working out in the relationship, but there was a reason you loved that person to begin with. I mean, we've all had failed relationships, but there was something there that made us really attached to that person. And I don't think you ever lose that. And I'm sure if one of those people died or you never heard from them again, you'd be like, that'd be fun. Like, who is this? Like, what happened to them? You know, maybe you wouldn't have that emotional reaction, but I don't feel like there was enough there really about the relationship. I thought it was just enough to make, I know why she's going to Area X. She wants to save him. She feels for him. She cares for him. You know, maybe she did wrong, like that cheating or whatever must have went on for a long time, and she feels bad about it and like doesn't want to do it anymore, realizes her mistake. And maybe that's some kind of like thing that weighs on her that makes her have to go do this mission. But that was what I took from in that scene. But all right, I'm just gonna get into like, I don't like the last half of that. I don't like the lighthouse scene that much. I think I don't know, man. It's just like I saw the orb thing and I was like, that's pretty dope. I love when you see Jennifer Jason Leigh without like eyes and shit. It's like Jacob's Ladder moment. And I was like, this is fucking dope. I wonder where this is gonna go. And then the orb shows up and I was like, okay, this is weird. What's gonna happen? And then when the alien humanoid thing comes out, I was like, all right, what's this? And I thought it was cool that there was like no real dialogue happening. And like, she felt, there was an uneasiness that she like can't escape, which I thought was cool. And that one part where it presses her up against the door, I was just like, holy fuck, man. What I thought it was going to turn into a thing moment where they like start merging together. I was like, this is going to get fucked up. But then that didn't happen. So I was like, damn it. Yeah, I don't know. I hate that they just ended it with like, we're just going to catch shit on fire because fire kills everything. And I'm like,
yeah, no, that was weird, right? Like there's this weird alien that's like super advanced and it's like, oh, here's fire. You know, a little weird.
I just didn't buy it. And I don't care. Like, I mean, I'm sure fire would kill, like if an alien being came down on Earth and we threw fire at it, I'm sure it'd probably suck. I'm sure it'd probably die because fire sucks, right? So fire. But I just felt like it was a dumb, not dumb, but I just felt it was a cop out for a movie.
Yeah.
And I think Alex Garland is a creative. I mean, Ex Machina is great. 28 Days Later is a great revitalization of the zombie genre. I mean, he wrote the book The Beach, which is a fun 90s movie. I mean, and all those movies kind of in Sunshine too. I mean, those are all cool movies that I thought the endings were much better and more realized. And I felt like, you know, maybe they had to change something for whatever reason, or, you know, the studio was like, dude, we just don't get this ending. You got to change it, like set some shit on fire. Because how, like, we don't get what's happening. So I don't know. I just kind of took me out of the movie. And then when like Oscar Isaacs is okay and they hug, and then he's like, she knows he's the doppelganger and it's not her husband, but they share that attachment of them being in the shimmer and surviving the shimmer. And him wanting to start over, and like you see her eyes kind of change a little bit, and it's always in her. I thought was kind of cool, but I don't know. It just doesn't make, like, I'd almost would have much rather it have been her just get out. Maybe her husband dies. She doesn't save him and she just has to live with the consequences. And maybe we get the little shimmer in her eyes. Like she has it. I don't know. I just thought like the ending just kind of fell apart for me, but I love the journey though, man. I love the journey to that ending. And the thing that I wanted to know more from you guys was, because I'd read the book and I was expecting certain things to happen, and I didn't get them, but I was wondering if it's still a really cool sci-fi movie. And I think it is. And it seems like everyone here enjoyed it, didn't love it, Andrew anyway, because he doesn't like things. Just kidding. But I feel like it's good. I feel like we've had some good conversations about it. Joey, apparently Kim's got some final thoughts, and I want to hear them.
Yeah, guys, I got a last minute walk in. Kim with her final thoughts.
Sweet. Let's do it.
Hello, fellas.
Hi.
How's it going?
Good.
So I really liked Annihilation. I thought it was great. But I have to say, it had my 4 biggest fears in it.
All right.
Aliens, number 1. Apocalypse, number 2. Imposter husbands, number 3. And fire, number 4.
Wow.
Damn.
All right.
Yeah, hit them all.
Anything else?
What?
You got anything else, like favorite scene or anything like that?
Well, I definitely had a nightmare about that scene at the end where she's like wrestling with the black mass alien that's like, becoming her. Like 3 days of nightmares on that one, but it was really cool. Like I was really into it. Like that scene where he's in the pool where like the guy's insides have just like exploded into that like moss mass.
Yeah.
It was pretty epic. I was into it.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Nice.
Awesome. Thanks, Kim.
So that's it. That's all I got.
Kim's Corner.
Yeah. Kim's Corner. We got to start doing that every movie.
Yeah. Kim comes in for like 30 seconds.
I'm down.
That was good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thumbs up, thumbs down.
All right. Sounds good. All right. See ya.
Awesome.
Oh, man. All right.
Woohoo.
All right. That's it. Wrapped up.
Annihilation wrapped.
Done.
Cool, bros.
Sweet. All right. We're going to get into Kevin Smith had a heart attack. Oh, my God. OMG. I was so scared, guys. I was like, no, you can't take Kevin Smith. Why is Donald Trump still here? Why are you going to take Kevin Smith?
So I
take
got
Mike Pence. Take somebody fucking bad. Don't take one Joy.
I know.
One person I love to watch.
I know.
Yeah, I'm glad he has a plethora of movies I can go back and watch and cry, but I still got to live in Donald Trump's America? What the fuck?
Yeah.
Higher power my asshole.
Somebody I know was working that day with Kevin Smith.
Oh, shit.
On the set. Apparently they had, I mean, this is everywhere now, but, they had shot like an episode of something. And they were going to shoot another one, I guess after lunch or whatever. But when they were trying to get Kevin to set, it was time for him to come to set. They were like, no, he's not feeling good. He's laying down. And that was kind of, then I guess a little bit later they called the ambulance or whatever, or it took him to the hospital. I'm not sure exactly how he got there or how they found out. But yeah, had a somebody on the set when that happened.
That's crazy, dude.
And yeah, so it's basically just, he didn't feel well. He was woozy, had a huge chest pain, and, it wasn't like a cardiac arrest, my left arm hurts type of scenario. Yeah, man, glad he's still here. Hope, the clogged up his Widowmaker, man, 100% clogged. It's I don't know, I don't know much of the medical percentage of somebody surviving that, or how that goes, but glad he's still here.
His mom has heart problems. His dad died of a heart attack.
Okay.
He was 80 pounds heavier for most of his life. He said that like, I lost like 85 pounds. To his doctor, he's like, why did this even happen? And his doctor said, this started a long time ago.
Yeah.
So there's a whole life that heart's been with you your whole life. So it's still probably adjusting to his new body, basically. I'm currently staring at Kevin Smith's signature on my wall. I got a poster when I went to the New Year's Eve Hollywood Babylon podcast recording, and I put that above my desk because I podcast at my desk, and if I look at Kevin Smith's signature while we podcast, we'll get magical juju the whole time we record. Every time I'm in my car, well, there was a good two years maybe where anytime I was in my car, I was listening to Kevin Smith's voice and somebody else he was podcasting with. Like, huge Kevin Smith fan, especially podcasting in recent years. And I liked Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. A lot of people don't like that movie. Dogma. I saw Mallrats in the theater with my entire family.
Man.
Okay. My dad to this day said that movie with that guy that stuck his hand up his ass, hilarious as hell. You know, he still remembers that scene the most. And we didn't know what we were watching at the time. I think I didn't see Clerks, of course, because that was way too early on. But I found out about it in high school. Anyway, Kevin Smith been with me a long time. I thought we were going to lose him, man. I was like just trying to prepare for the worst, you know. 100% blockage isn't that good. But apparently he's pretty good now. I wouldn't say he's 100%, but he posted that he like feels more alert than ever.
Yeah.
Because he just has a lot more blood flow than he used to.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you put a stent in. It makes things slightly easier on you.
Yeah. Did we want to talk about favorite Kevin Smith movies? Let's just run through them real quick.
Yeah.
So, Joey.
I think basically the first one I ever saw was Mallrats, and that was kind of in the 90s when I was either in middle school or high school, and like was a big fan of comics, and they meet Stan Lee and just kind of having that like first meeting like Jay and Silent Bob as these two dummies living at the mall. It's probably my favorite one. I feel like I'm maybe missing one or two, but I think Mallrats is always going to be my favorite one. I think because of that, it really it really resonated with me as a kid at the time. So yeah, I'm gonna stick with that one.
Maddie?
I mean, I think most of us here are going to be Mallrats fans. I'm not. I mean, I saw Mallrats and it like connected with me because I think I was like a teenager, and those people are supposed to it's supposed to be teenagers, but those dudes are easily in their 30s. So, but I liked it just because like that was the only thing in my small town was like a mall, and like I was into comics too. So, I felt like like Kevin Smith was like. It's like, this guy makes my movies, the stuff I want to see. And, coming from a small town, we didn't get like a lot of weird indie stuff. So I didn't see Clerks till later. But Mallrats has always stayed with me. Dogma, I think, is incredible. It was one of the films that was like, yeah, you know what? This makes a lot of sense. Like some of the things that are being addressed are thoughts that I've had and about religion and things. And I thought it was a fun movie. But Tusk is fucking amazing. I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah.
And like I said before, that's why I go see movies, to see shit I've never seen before. And Tusk making a dude a walrus, that's fucked up, man. Good job, Kevin. And then I'm going to just mention, I thought Red State was really good because when that came out, you hadn't really heard much from Kevin Smith. It felt like he was kind of done making films. And then he made this weird kind of horror-esque cult movie. And after that, he made Tusk. And I felt like we got a revitalization of Kevin Smith doing some different shit, but still keeping that like that tone and the comedy, but being more serious films, and I thought that was really cool because I still felt like it was a Kevin Smith film. I still felt like it was the same guy who made Mallrats. He just said he's grown a little bit. He's learned. He's ready. He's an adult now. He's got to make he got to get a couple serious films under his belt, but still have his Kevin Smith touch to them. So that's great. And a lot of people don't like Yoga Hosers, but I love it because it's so Kevin Smith. And one thing I think I miss when I go to see films now, I feel like a lot of stuff looks very similar, has a very similar style. Yeah. And I love, or has like, it's kind of written very similar, when you see it. And I love that I can go see a movie and I get that Kevin Smith voice. And that's why I love Kevin Smith, man. He makes his movies. And I think as an artist, we all went to art school on this podcast. I think that's really important, and I'm glad that he gets to say whatever he wants generally most of the time and make the movies he wants, because I think as an artist, that's what you want to do. You just don't want to work for the man all the time. You want to make your shit. So, Kevin, I'm glad you're all right. Because, good Lord, if you would have went, I need Moose Jaws, man. I need Moose Jaws. I got to finish up that trilogy, dude.
Yeah.
But
Moose Jaws,
it was, I thought, oh, God, dude, it was scary.
The very next thing he's going to make is Jay and Silent Bob reboot. And I'm actually really excited about that because a lot of people didn't like Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, but I thought it was great. Cock Knocker's hilarious. And my favorite one probably is, like you guys, I liked Mallrats quite a bit, and maybe number 2 would be Dogma. That little run he had there was great. You had Mallrats, Dogma, and then Chasing Amy. Yeah, I like that one. But that was kind of a bummer at times, but that's probably one of his if any Kevin Smith movie can get into like Criterion Collection, it's that one. So
I'm not a tracer, man.
yeah. But Mallrats is probably number 1, I guess. But he said like he started to do the horror movies and stuff because he felt like and when he was writing his movies in the 90s, especially at that time, he wanted to write about his experiences and people that he knew and conversations that he had. Like he talks about Star Wars, so he's going to have people talking about Star Wars in his movie. So then he made a turn. He was like, you know what? I don't have to actually kill a guy for a character to kill somebody in my stories. I don't have to have a horror experience to write a horror movie. So he started doing stuff like Tusk and all that. And he said he always talks about how like he was a midnight horror movie fan. He was like he definitely liked horror movies growing up a lot as well. So it's in his wheelhouse as well, at least to a certain degree. And Tusk, especially since his renaissance, like Red State I thought was okay. Yoga Hosers is like, it's whatever. It's mainly for younger girls, I guess. You know what I mean? Like, I think if you're in that age group and you're a girl, you can feel that movie a lot more. That's what that movie is for.
I pretty felt it, and I'm not in that age group.
I do agree with you said about like even if it's not the greatest movie, at least it has the Kevin Smith touch to it, and that's awesome. And it is good to see that because I think it's kind of like maybe this is a bigger topic for later, but it might be like the dark side of like the geek world taking over every movie ever. Like maybe I wonder if there's like something about geek culture that's kind of homogenizing movies. I'm not really sure, but maybe we can get that later. But anyway, we almost lost him, and glad he's still around.
I want to mention something else. Kevin Smith and Joe Quesada did a stint on Daredevil, probably the end of maybe 99 or 2000s, one of those. My buddy had the graphic novel and lent it to me, and those two are basically the ones that like gave me Daredevil, because I had really never read anything that I guess I really hadn't read any Daredevil comics. I know there was like some good runs at the time, but I think I was maybe mature enough to really start sort of getting into that world. And then they sort of brought me, what got me into Daredevil being sort of one of my favorite characters in Marvel today. So that's definitely, thank him for that for sure.
Sweet.
Not Frank Miller, bro.
Well, I didn't read those at the time.
All right.
No, definitely Frank Miller kept it going. I definitely picked up all the Frank Miller stuff, but Kevin Smith was the one that was like, oh, Daredevil's a thing. He's cool. I like him.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to move on to Joey's top show of 2018 so far.
Yeah, so this may be a little difficult for everybody to get. It's not too difficult, but maybe wait till the season's over and you can pay, your little bit of money. So on Starz, there's a show called Counterpart with J.K. Simmons, and a couple other actors as well. He's sort of the main character. I don't want to get too much into what the show is about, but it's a very cool sort of spy sci-fi show.
Nice.
It's 7 episodes in. 7th episode dropped last night. It's on, again, I said it's on Starz, so you can get like the Starz app once the show is probably finished airing, and you can pay your little $8 or however much it costs to get it and watch the whole season. It's very it's good. It's really good. There's a lot of little twists and turns. It's awesome, man. Every time it's over, we're like super upset that it's like, no, gotta wait a whole week for the next one. You want you want that in a show, and it's great.
I added that to my list. I'm going to go off of if we're on this topic, if it's okay, and I'm sure you got something, Maddie. There's an anime called Inuyashiki. It's INUYASHIKI. It's on Amazon Prime, and it is great. It's similar to what Joey said as far as like when it's over, you just want to start the next one. I think the whole thing is on there, and yeah, it's been fucking great, dude. It's like the Akira Kurosawa film Ikiru. It's IKIRU. It's a non-samurai Kurosawa film about a guy that basically faces his own death. Ikiru means to live, and it's a mix of that and Iron Man, actually. And they make some references to Spider-Man a few times. It's weird. You're seeing some Marvel influence in anime now, which is interesting. They're like, what comics are you going to buy? And they're like, Spider-Man. They're like, which one? Amazing. Okay. Like that whole conversation is in the fucking show. And but it's a lot more than that. And he goes and like fights the Yakuza and shit. Just check it out. It's cool.
Oh, you sold me.
So it's not Inuyasha.
No.
Not Inuyasha, Inuyashiki. It means dog mansion.
Okay. Gotcha.
Oh,
okay.
Fair enough.
Don't know why it has that name. There is a dog in it, but there's not a mansion. Well, yeah, but it's not really important to the plot, it seems like. But anyway, that's the name.
Okay. You finished it?
I have not. I have been busy as fuck. I've got an extra.
Andrew.
I got a freelance gig that I got recently, and that's taken up my time. As like, I got just so much shit going on, man.
I guess it's better than not having shit going on. So, all right, fine.
Yeah, it's like more than usual, man.
Inuyashiki Last Hero.
Maybe that's the subtitle. Yeah, it's on Amazon Prime.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I looked into it and saw some of the images because I was like, is he talking about Inuyasha? And I was
no. It's brutal. It's a hard R anime.
All right, I'm in. You got me.
Hard R.
All right, cool. Since everyone's got one, I got one too. I'm gonna give a little shout out to Sundance TV's Happen Leonard. Written. I've read the first 3 novels. They're by Joe R. Lansdale. Love that author. He's great. Just kind of writes like gritty Southern books. And season 2 just dropped on Netflix. Season 3, I think, comes out in a couple of weeks. So each one of them is based on, like, they just do the book in like 6 episodes, which is great. They're kind of like, I think they're an hour long, but it's kind of short and sweet. Yeah, they're like to the point. Just a little backstory. Hap is a conscientious objector who is white and is very liberal. Leonard is a black man who is gay and who is like a conservative, basically, and they're best friends. Wow. And they go on, then they solve, like, they get put into these kind of weird situations where they're almost detectives, but not really, because they're really bad at like they can solve stuff, but they always end up in the worst situation. They're like, oh, cool, we solved it, but now the bad guy has us, and how the fuck are we gonna get out of this? So it's very cool, very Southern. Was not a big fan of the casting of James Purefoy as Hap, but he's grown on me a lot. I just saw him differently when I was reading the novels. And then Leonard is played by Michael K. Williams. Mm-hmm. And I love him. I mean, come on, Omar, y'all, from The Wire. Shit, I watched that guy fucking in anything. I think the biggest disappointment about Solo was that they recast his character. Anyway, but really good show. I'm a couple episodes into season 2. It's weird because I've read the books, so I thought I'd already seen the season, but I realized I hadn't. But it's because I read the book and I know what happens. But I think it's really well done. The budget seems really nice. It's not super low budget or anything. Like, you know, they spend money where they need to spend money. And the stories are just kind of like, you know, kind of dark humor. Really fun. But I recommend checking it out if you're just kind of bored with everything else, because honestly, it's not like anything else. So
cool.
That show is on IFC and season 3 starts in a couple weeks.
Oh, IFC. Sweet. Yeah. Yeah. But that's my pick.
Cool. So we're going into Maddie Curtin Listens, correct?
Oh, yeah. My boy Corey Stringer. It's Eric B's cousin. Eric B has not been on the podcast, but he's been in a SuperHouse video.
Eric B's been on the podcast.
Has he?
We had a whole interview of him. Maybe, but there's an interview of Eric B.
Maybe it was that. Maybe it's that, and I just always see the picture.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, anyway, Corey was always our drummer in any band we started in high school, basically. He's a very good drummer. He recently dropped an album on iTunes. You can get it for $4.99. It's called Metempsychosis. The name of the band is Nest. It's like sludge, doom, black metal, and it's awesome.
All right.
So it's only a 2-piece. Corey plays drums and he screams. And dude, that he's so tall and so thin, such a skinny little dude, such a skinny tall man, and his scream is so deep and so great. It's definitely like a very black metal thing. And there's a guitarist, Kyle Kenner, and I've never met him, but he got some dope ass licks, dude. Got them riffage down. And they're on Sludge Lord Records. Hopefully, once Stefan and I get Heavy Rotation back, I hope to have Corey on, and hopefully his partner to discuss like the recording process and like getting onto Sludge Lord. I know they did have some issue with another label before this got put onto, so it'd be cool to talk about. But you guys should purchase it or just listen to it on Apple Music. Any support you can give like new and upcoming bands is always dope. I bought it even though I do have the early audio files of it. Because Eric sent them to me. He's like, dude, you should check out Corey's shit. And I was like, yeah, this shit's dope. But now it's dropped, and it sounds all fancy and polished. And that's it. Listen to it, especially if you like that.
What's the name of the band again?
They're called Nest.
Nest.
N-E-S-T.
Right. What's the album name?
Metempsychosis.
Spell that for the listeners, please, Maddie.
Oh, Jesus Christ, guys. Come on.
I think I remember it. METEMPSYCHOSIS.
Damn, you just won the spelling bee, Andrew.
Woo! Can you
You
use
don't
that
get
in a
no
sentence?
prize.
Okay. All right. I'm pretty sure that's correct, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, you're right. I have it written down. I wrote down everything so I could get the names right, because sometimes it's just good to have the information in front of you.
Yeah. Being prepared is a good thing.
Yeah.
Dear. Cool.
But that's all I got.
All right. And you guys wanted to shout out a very special game in your hearts before we get to the final shout out?
Yeah. I mean, I think Joey has to take. Joey introduced me to this, and we've been playing it. So Joey, take it away. Let the people know what's going on.
So Bloodborne is a game by FromSoft. They also made the Dark Souls series and a couple of older games. Before that, Tenchu. I think they did Tenchu, and there's another one called Kingsfield. Kingsfield is one.
Oh God, I forgot about that shit. Yeah.
Yeah. Bloodborne will be free on PlayStation Plus this Tuesday, and I believe on March 10th they are doing a big co-op celebration until March 24th. So if you get the game, if you've never played it, definitely get it. It'll be free on PlayStation Plus. And if you're having trouble, ring that bell. Get a friend.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Just if you want to play with Joey and I don't care. I'll give out my PSN name. Don't know if Joey wants to. I'm Old Maddie. Just add me, and we can play through some Bloodborne. I'm not very good at it, so we'll probably want to get Joey too.
Yeah, I'm a Lone Sword 3, all one word, number 3.
Super Caveman 1984. Fight me on Injustice.
Andrew will not be playing Bloodborne. Apparently.
I'll play it, but it's just let me get finished with this freelance gig. It's killing me.
Sweet, dude. No worries. All right, guys. That's it. That's all we got for you. That was episode 115. Guys, we got to do this. We're going to do it every time because it's our only supporter.
Currently.
Shasta. We love you. Thank you for your contribution to this podcast. It's always great to see. Yeah. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shasta.
Man, we talked a lot. I need something to drink, a beer preferably.
Hell yeah,
Oscars are happening. Just happened. I'm sure we'll do some thoughts on that next Sunday about who won what and what's going on. So stay tuned for that, guys. Later.
See ya.
Andrew signing off.
This is Stefan from the SuperHouse Podcast. Be sure to check us out on Patreon, on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and any other godforsaken social media outlet that we should be floating on.
We are basically on all social media.
Yeah, all social media.
Mainly Facebook and Twitter and Patreon.
Check out the links in the description.
We have a lot of cool goals set up on our Patreon. Like if you donate $1, you'll be able to give us a topic for us to talk about. And we'll talk about for maybe an hour or more. Who knows how long it'll take.
And that's pretty tight.
That's the coolest thing.
Wait, we're on the internet?
That's pretty good. If you
and we can make money.
What?
If you donate $1,000, you get full frontal nudes.
We haven't set that up, but it's a possibility. You give us $1,000, who knows what'll happen.
Check us out.
I'll do that. I'll do that.
You get to go on a date with one of us for $10,000.
But you pay for everything.
You get to have your way with Maddie for $20,000.
For $1 million, I'll give you Joey for a weekend.
For $30,000, we'll help you hide a body. Check out our Patreon.
SuperHouse Gigolo Project.
2018.
Links in the description.